right. We have things we still need to work on. There's a report that the Juvenile Justice Alliance did in December called Safe and Sound. We have a few copies here. It's on our website. To get more information about why the system shrunk and how that's working, you can take a look at that report, and we're happy to get you pieces as well. So to summarize, Raise the Age has proven to be a policy that costs us less than we anticipated. It's been manageable for the state agencies and municipalities. It's not harming public safety. It leads to future crime prevention, and it addresses concerns about the adult system. So as we move forward with Raise the Age for 2012, we know that continuing our commitment to diversion will keep the system small. And we've seen with the 16-year-olds that the system does know how to absorb change. It's smart, it's fair, and it's economical. So as I mentioned, we're going to have questions at the very end. At this point, I'm going to introduce Representative Gary Holder-Winfield, who serves as both Vice Chair of the Judiciary Committee and was elected as leader of the Black and Latino Caucus this year. And he's going to begin our conversation on disproportionate minority contact. Representative Holder-Winfield.
Good morning. So I was told that I'm supposed to tug at your heartstrings. What I'm going to attempt to do is try to reach your mind, because I've tried the heartstring thing with people and it doesn't really work that well. So I just heard talking about Raise the Age that we can afford to do this. I think the better way of saying it is we can't afford not to do this. Similarly with DMC, disproportionate minority contact means we have disproportionate minority confinement. In a state where minorities are becoming more of the population of this state, we can't afford to continue to do that either. We have to be smart about what we're doing. Incarcerating young people, blacks, Latinos disproportionately is dangerous for our state. And so at a time when we're talking about budget issues, we need to be talking about this population and doing better by them, and therefore doing better by our state. And that's the discussion that we need to be having. These discussions about this being the issues of certain communities are no longer the discussions that we can have, because the reality is the people who we thought of as not our children when we have these conversations about our children are our children. The people who we thought of as not part of our community are part of our community by extension now in ways they've never been. And so the work we're doing here, trying to get people to understand DMC, the juvenile justice issues, Raise the Age, is very important. And as some of you know, and I hope all of you know, and certainly after I say this and after Tony and everyone speaks today, Tony and everyone speaks today, you will know there are people who are going to say that we need to not be doing the things that we are attempting to do in order to make the state a better state and a state that can act in a fiscally prudent way. The most imprudent thing we could do is turn back from where we have been going. I guess in the last couple of weeks with Martin Luther King's birthday, you've heard a lot of people recite a lot of words. For me, I think a lot of those words ring hollow because I don't think people understand what they mean. People have been talking about the moral arc of the universe, and they bring up the passage from the Bible about the Good Samaritan. We have to make these words mean something. The moral arc of the universe doesn't bend just because it bends. It bends because people get up and they do the right thing. The Good Samaritan, that story is relevant to what we're talking about here. The Good Samaritan, if you really understand the story, is not just a story of how we should act, but it's a story of a group of people, not just the Samaritan, a group of people, the Samaritans, who were looked at as other than your neighbor. And so what the story is really telling us is not just you should act this way, but that you have to conceive of people who you haven't always conceived of as connected to you, And that's really the story of the juvenile justice things that we're talking about today. That's really the story of DMC. So thank you for allowing me to introduce this. And please, let's do the work. Thank you.